The unseen edge, how lifelong learners own the future. What if the secret to truly unlimited success wasn't just raw talent or some lucky break, but a relentless, almost obsessive drive to learn faster than anyone else? Imagine two individuals starting their journeys from seemingly identical launching paths. They walked through the same school gates, earned similar degrees, and even landed comparable first jobs. At first glance, they both radiated ambition. Both possessed innate abilities. But then, a subtle yet profound divergence began. One began to ascend, seemingly effortlessly, shattering financial ceilings, mastering complex new skills, and adapting to every shifting opportunity. The other, despite working just as hard, found themselves stuck, battling the same frustrations year after year, slowly, almost imperceptibly falling behind. What was the critical differentiator? It wasn't some genetic predisposition, nor was it a stroke of pure fortune. The undeniable truth, often too uncomfortable for most to confront, was this: one person simply kept learning, while the other, tragically, stopped. This is the brutal reality many refuse to accept. The very moment you declare you've made it, the second you believe your reservoir of knowledge is complete, the world begins to outpace you. Knowledge isn't a static entity, it's a living force that's either expanding or shrinking. And those who grasp this fundamental truth, they're the architects of their own future, perpetually in command. If you've ever felt that frustrating sensation of stagnation, of pouring effort into your work only to see opportunities bypass you while others surge ahead, understand this: it's not a reflection of your capabilities. It's simply that the world unequivocally rewards those committed to continuous growth, and just as decisively leaves behind those who cease to evolve. And here's the most insidious part. Many don't even realize they've stopped. They graduate, secure a job, and slip into autopilot, operating under the dangerous delusion that what they already know is sufficient. But it never is. The global landscape shifts too rapidly. Industries mutate at breakneck speeds, and new knowledge is forged every single second. If you aren't perpetually feeding your mind, sharpening your skills, and pushing the boundaries of your understanding, you are, without a doubt, silently slipping into obsolescence. By the time that realization hits, for most, it's already too late. The world's relentless pace. Yet there's incredible news. You absolutely don't have to become another statistic. The very fact you're engaging with this material already positions you leagues ahead of the vast majority. You've made a pivotal decision most never even consider: to seize control of your own intellectual destiny. That singular decision possesses the power to fundamentally alter the entire trajectory of your life. Because education isn't merely a phase you complete. It's a dynamic state of being, a way of life. Consider the titans of industry, the visionaries, the leaders who consistently remain several steps ahead. Their common thread isn't just sheer effort, it's an unyielding commitment to perpetual learning. The most perilous mindset you can harbor in this era is the archaic belief that learning ceases with a diploma, that once you're trained for a specific role, your growth can simply halt, that you possess enough knowledge to navigate the future. The stark truth? The world couldn't care less about what you mastered 5 years ago. It demands to know what you command today. Every sector is in a constant state of flux. Skills that were gold a decade ago are now barely footnotes. Companies are automating, outsourcing, and inevitably replacing individuals who steadfastly refuse to adapt. The only ironclad guarantee for enduring success is to continuously, deliberately, and even aggressively upgrade yourself. And yet the majority of people simply don't do it. They don't read. They don't invest in acquiring new skills. They don't dare to challenge their own ingrained perspectives. They drift through life under the false pretense that mere experience alone will carry them forward, when in reality, experience devoid of growth is nothing more than monotonous repetition. Meanwhile, the top 1%, the individuals who dominate their respective domains, who remain indispensable no matter how dramatically the world morphs, they treat education like a sacred daily ritual. They intrinsically understand that ultimate success isn't predicated on what you already possess, but on the sheer velocity at which you can acquire new insights. And that, my friends, is why they consistently emerge victorious. The battle within, fixed versus growth. What if I told you that the entire landscape of your life, every triumph, every setback, every burgeoning opportunity could be traced back to one incredibly simple yet profound concept: how you fundamentally perceive your own intelligence and capabilities? This isn't just some empty motivational platitude. It's a truth meticulously backed by cutting-edge science. Dr. Carol Dweck, a pioneering psychologist, unveiled that individuals largely operate under one of two core belief systems: a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. People shackled by a fixed mindset rigidly believe that their intelligence, their skills, their inherent abilities are immutable, carved in stone. Their internal monologue often sounds something like, "I'm either naturally good at this or I'm simply not." Or perhaps, "I've never been a numbers person, so why even try trying?" When confronted with a setback or failure, they interpret it as undeniable proof of their inherent limitations, rather than a golden opportunity for evolution. They actively shrink from challenges, terrified of appearing less than brilliant, and as a direct consequence, they remain perpetually stuck in the same place, year after predictable year. Contrast this sharply with those who cultivate a growth mindset. They perceive failure not as a dead end, but as invaluable feedback. Challenges aren't obstacles, but fertile ground for learning. And sustained effort? That's the undeniable pathway to mastery. They deeply grasp that true skills are meticulously forged through consistent practice, that intelligence itself is not finite, but boundless and expandable, and that truly mastery blossoms from unwavering persistence. Instead of asking, "Am I good enough?" their internal compass points towards, "How can I constantly become better?" This seemingly small, yet utterly transformative shift in perspective is precisely what empowers them to continuously evolve, leaving others trapped in inertia. If your aspiration is to soar ahead of 99% of the population, then cultivating a robust growth mindset isn't an option, it's an absolute imperative. Nothing, in the long run, will serve your ascent more profoundly. The next time you catch yourself uttering, "I'm just not capable of this," simply add one tiny, powerful word to the end. Yet, as in, "I'm just not capable of this yet." That minuscule linguistic adjustment possesses the astonishing power to fundamentally rewire your brain, transforming how you view learning from a limiting destination to an exhilarating, ongoing process. Curiosity, your ultimate superpower. Take a moment and truly ponder the most impactful figures gracing our world stage: the groundbreaking innovators, the strategic titans, the visionaries, architects of change. What singular trait unites them? It's not merely their soaring IQs, nor their legendary work ethic. It's an insatiable, almost childlike curiosity. Curiosity is the blazing fuel that propels individuals to endlessly ask why and what if, instead of passively accepting the world as it appears. It's the invisible force that compels someone to devour a book while others mindlessly scroll through digital feeds. It's the relentless internal push to experiment, to boldly explore uncharted territories, to courageously question the established order. And the truly successful, they never, ever
extinguish that flame of curiosity.
Yet tragically, for most people, this innate human trait begins to wither as they journey into adulthood. As children, we bombarded the world with thousands of questions daily. But somewhere along the winding path of societal conditioning, we're subtly, or not so subtly, taught that asking too many questions is inconvenient, that admitting "I don't know" is a mark of shame, and that it's far safer, far more accepted, to simply stay in your lane. This, my friends, is a perilous trap. The individuals who truly surge ahead in life are the ones who relentlessly pursue answers, who remain utterly captivated by novel ideas, and who courageously venture into the vast, unknown landscapes of knowledge. So here's a radical challenge for you. Start questioning everything. When a fact is presented, pause and ask yourself, how do I know this is true? When you witness someone achieving something extraordinary, don't just dismiss it as natural talent. Instead, dig deeper and inquire, what was their journey to get there? When someone declares something impossible, don't passively accept it. Instead, push back and explore, is it truly impossible? The more you consciously cultivate and embrace your inherent curiosity, the more astonishing doors will effortlessly swing open for you. The unstoppable force, embracing failure. The profound truth is, most individuals don't falter because they lack capability. They falter because they're simply too terrified to even attempt. The paralyzing fear of failure is the silent saboteur that prevents countless people from diving into a new skill, from posing that crucial question, from venturing into unfamiliar territory. They are consumed by the dread of appearing foolish, of experiencing the sting of embarrassment, and as a result, they remain perpetually stagnant. Here's the liberating truth you must internalize. Failure is not the antithesis of success. It is in fact the very essence of the process of success. Every celebrated expert was once a hesitant beginner. Every revered master was at one point undeniably terrible at their craft. The fundamental distinction? They resolutely persisted. They perceived failure not as a definitive reason to abandon their pursuit, but as an indispensable stepping stone on their arduous ascent toward mastery. The moment you utterly dismantle your fear of failure, you become an unstoppable force. You begin to courageously embrace calculated risks. You accelerate your learning trajectory at an astonishing pace. You embark on transformative growth in ways you previously couldn't even fathom. So the next time you stumble, the next time something doesn't go according to plan, instead of spiraling into self-criticism with thoughts like, "I'm simply dreadful at this," pause and then ask yourself with genuine curiosity, what profound lesson did this experience just teach me? Because if you possess the wisdom to extract insights from your missteps, they cease to be failures altogether. They transform into invaluable lessons, propelling you ever closer to your desired destination. The architect of growth, self-discipline. If there's one defining characteristic that irrevocably separates the lifelong learners from the vast majority, it is unequivocally self-discipline. Most people engage in learning only when the elusive muse of motivation strikes. They passively await inspiration to ignite their pursuits. However, the individuals who consistently achieve extraordinary feats consciously forge learning into a daily habit, an unbreakable ritual, even on those days when the well of enthusiasm feels utterly dry. Self-discipline is the unseen force that compels someone to absorb 10 pages of a book instead of mindlessly scrolling through social media feeds. It's the inner conviction that drives someone to enroll in an online course rather than passively consuming hours of television. It is the unyielding resolve that creates the chasm between those who merely wish they were smarter and those who actually, demonstrably, become smarter. Here's the profound secret. Motivation, by its very nature, is fleeting. It will inevitably ebb and flow. But habits? Habits endure. If your unwavering aspiration is to stay perpetually ahead, then you must transform learning into a non-negotiable cornerstone of your daily existence. Even a mere 20 minutes of intensely focused learning each day, consistently applied, possesses the astonishing power to elevate you into the top 1% over time. If you absorb nothing else from this pivotal chapter, let it be this singular empowering truth. The most profound action you can undertake is to make an unwavering commitment to never, ever ceasing your education. The precise moment you mistakenly believe you possess enough knowledge is the identical moment you initiate your descent into being left behind. Remain relentlessly curious, courageously embrace perceived failures, and meticulously cultivate learning as an indelible, lifelong habit. Because while a staggering 99% of people will halt their intellectual journey after formal schooling, the tenacious 1% who persist in learning will, without a shadow of a doubt, inherit and shape the future. The only remaining question is, will you choose to be among them? Reading, the untapped gold mine. Imagine for a moment if you could effortlessly access the most brilliant minds throughout history, converse with the most revolutionary thinkers, and draw upon the accumulated wisdom of the world's most successful entrepreneurs, all from the serene comfort of your own home. Sounds like an improbable fantasy, doesn't it? Well, it's not. It is the unparalleled power of books. Every single day, individuals across the globe are unearthing groundbreaking insights in personal development, revolutionary scientific discoveries, pivotal advancements in business strategy, and profound philosophical truths, all meticulously contained within the unassuming pages of books. While the vast majority remain tethered to the endless scroll of social media feeds or become lost in the passive consumption of television, a select, discerning few have decoded a hidden truth, a secret weapon that grants them an undeniable edge. They read. They don't just read. They read more voraciously. They read with greater discernment. And crucially, they read with the explicit intention to grow. And here's the game-changing revelation. You don't require an advanced degree, some exclusive network, or a clandestine formula. All you truly need is to cultivate the consistent, deliberate habit of reading. Master this, and you will find yourself light years ahead of 99% of the population who operate under the misguided belief that true knowledge can only be acquired through formal education or prohibitively expensive experiences. This chapter is designed to unlock the profound, life-altering magic embedded within the act of reading, and to illuminate precisely why it remains one of the astonishingly underutilized, yet undeniably potent tools for achieving unparalleled success. But this isn't merely about reading for its own sake. It's about reading with intense intention, about deeply absorbing knowledge, and, critically, about applying what you unearth to elevate every facet of your existence in ways you can scarcely imagine right now. If you've ever found yourself pondering how the truly successful maintain their competitive lead, how visionary entrepreneurs continually innovate, or how influential leaders foster perpetual growth, the answer consistently begins with reading. And if you commit wholeheartedly to mastering this transformative habit, you will effectively tap into the greatest strategic advantage known to humanity. Let's delve into why reading isn't just an important activity, it is an absolute game changer, and how, by truly comprehending and embracing it, you will unmistakably distinguish yourself from the crowd, shatter through the prevailing noise, and become utterly unstoppable.
Why the most successful people read daily. Have you ever genuinely paused to consider why some of the planet's wealthiest, most impactful individuals, the titans like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and Elon Musk, seem to be perpetually immersed in reading? For them, it's far beyond a mere pastime. It is their secret sauce for perpetual growth. They read because they possess an intrinsic understanding that knowledge is power, and more acutely, that knowledge is wealth. In fact, the legendary investor Warren Buffett famously declared that reading is arguably the most potent investment you can make in yourself. He dedicates nearly 80% of his waking hours to reading. Bill Gates routinely devours approximately 50 books annually. And Elon Musk, astonishingly, reportedly taught himself the intricate science of rocket propulsion simply by reading books. These individuals aren't merely reading for fleeting entertainment. They read with a laser focus to extract profound insights, to exponentially expand their cognitive frameworks, and to consistently remain at the bleeding edge. The disheartening reality is that most people summarily dismiss reading, rationalizing that they simply lack the requisite time or cannot possibly weave it into their already overflowing schedules. But profoundly successful individuals have mastered a fundamental principle. Small, consistent habits, meticulously performed over time, invariably compound into colossal results. It's not about achieving the Herculean feat of reading an entire book every single day. Rather, it's about seamlessly integrating reading into your daily rhythm, whether that means absorbing a few pages with your morning coffee, immersing yourself in audiobooks during your commute, or dedicating a focused 20 minutes before lights out. Consider this transformative thought. What if you could effortlessly gain the distilled wisdom of history's greatest minds without ever leaving your sanctuary, without hemorrhaging thousands of dollars on fleeting courses, without the arduous wait for a mentor to materialize? What if the most potent insights for unlocking unprecedented success were perpetually just a book, just a chapter away? Because they unequivocally are. The instant you consciously transform reading into an ingrained habit, you are, in that very moment, flinging open the floodgates to an ocean of limitless possibilities. Fiction versus nonfiction: what to read and why. Now that we've firmly established the indispensable nature of reading, a crucial question undoubtedly emerges. What precisely should I be reading? The liberating truth is there isn't a singular universal answer that fits every individual, and that, surprisingly, is a tremendous advantage. The literary landscape is staggeringly vast, and depending on your current life stage, your specific aspirations, and your intrinsic interests, distinct genres of books will serve you in uniquely powerful ways. Let's begin with nonfiction books. These are the invaluable resources designed to directly impart knowledge and skills. Whether your focus lies in the intricate world of business, the transformative realm of personal development, the complexities of human psychology, the sweeping narratives of history, or the practical application of a skill like coding, nonfiction books are your go-to for concrete knowledge and immediately actionable strategies. They are, in essence, your personal toolkit, equipping you with the instruments necessary to dissect problems, make more astute decisions, and systematically elevate the quality of your life. Think of them as your meticulously detailed blueprint for enduring success. However, never, ever underestimate the profound value of fiction. Fiction possesses an unparalleled capacity to sculpt your imagination, to grant you deep insights into the intricate tapestry of human nature, and even to significantly amplify your capacity for empathy. When you become absorbed in a brilliantly crafted novel, you are not merely reading words, you are stepping directly into the lived experiences of diverse characters, immersing yourself in their thoughts, feeling their emotions, and wrestling with their struggles. Fiction acts as a portal, flinging open new worlds and expansive perspectives, thereby broadening your mind and enriching your emotional intelligence in ways that nonfiction, by its very nature, simply cannot. So how do you navigate this rich literary terrain and make discerning choices? Balance is the unequivocal key. Nonfiction will be your wellspring for acquiring practical knowledge and strategic insights, while fiction will meticulously cultivate your creativity, deepen your emotional resonance, and hone your ability to think radically outside the conventional box. The most well-rounded and successful readers are those who intelligently traverse both worlds, extracting unique value from each. Speed reading and retention techniques. Read smarter, not harder. One of the most formidable obstacles people routinely encounter when it comes to reading is, predictably, time. Let's face it, modern life is a relentless whirlwind. You're juggling demanding work commitments, the sacred responsibilities of family, a vibrant social calendar, and a multitude of other pressing obligations. So how can one possibly absorb more knowledge without feeling utterly overwhelmed? The powerful secret lies in reading smarter, not harder. Enter the dynamic world of speed reading. This isn't merely about racing through pages at breakneck pace. It's fundamentally about optimizing your efficiency and comprehension. With the application of the right techniques, you possess the remarkable ability to read significantly faster while simultaneously retaining a greater volume of information. Speed reading encompasses powerful methods such as skimming for core ideas, chunking words into meaningful groups, and, crucially, minimizing subvocalization, that faint internal voice that audibly reads every word as you process it. By diligently practicing these speed reading techniques, you can dramatically accelerate your consumption of books and absorb a greater quantity of material in a fraction of the time. Yet, speed reading in isolation is insufficient. Retention is the ultimate cornerstone. If you're devouring 5 books a week only to find that the knowledge evaporates by the time you embark on the next, what is the genuine utility? The overarching objective isn't merely to read more, it's to read and profoundly retain what you've learned. The most effective strategy to dramatically enhance retention is to actively engage with the material. Take meticulous notes, highlight passages that resonate, and, most powerfully, articulate what you've learned to someone else. Teaching is by far the most potent form of learning. Actively doing so will indelibly imprint the knowledge, rendering it far easier to retrieve precisely when you need it. The best books for personal growth: Investing in Yourself. You've likely already grasped the profound importance of reading, but the natural next inquiry is, what specific books should I prioritize to guarantee my growth? There is an almost infinite cosmos of books available, yet critically, not all of them will genuinely move the needle in the transformative way you desire. So how do you meticulously select the literary works that will truly reshape your life? Begin your journey with books squarely focused on personal development. Timeless classics such as Atomic Habits by James Clear, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, and The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey are indispensable. They provide a robust framework for systematically improving your habits, recalibrating your mindset, and optimizing your daily routines. These foundational texts will meticulously lay the groundwork for sustained, long-term growth.
Next, intentionally integrate books on business and entrepreneurship into your reading list. Titles like The Lean Startup by Eric Ries and The Hard Thing About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz offer invaluable, unfiltered insights into the challenging yet rewarding process of building and scaling successful ventures. They will equip you with the mental fortitude to navigate inevitable obstacles, make tough decisions under pressure, and maintain unwavering focus on your ultimate objectives. Furthermore, do not overlook books specifically designed to enhance your emotional intelligence and communication prowess. Works like How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie and Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman are absolute game changers. They will empower you to forge deeper, more meaningful relationships, to profoundly understand the motivations and perspectives of others, and to articulate your thoughts and ideas with unparalleled effectiveness. These skills are, without question, paramount in every conceivable facet of life, from your most intimate personal connections to your most ambitious professional endeavors. The overarching principle is to strategically invest your reading time in books that will genuinely challenge your entrenched thinking, relentlessly push you beyond your comfort zone, and ultimately empower you to actualize the very best version of yourself. When you read with such deliberate intention, you unleash an extraordinary force capable of transforming not just your mind, but the entire landscape of your life. Building a reading habit that lasts. Reading isn't merely a fleeting hobby, it's a profound way of life. So how do you seamlessly integrate it into the very fabric of your daily routine, ensuring it becomes an unshakable cornerstone? The unequivocal key is consistency.
The most prolific and impactful readers don't engage in marathon reading sessions for hours on end every single day. Instead, they simply read every single day, without fail. Whether it's a focused 20 minutes absorbed with your morning coffee or a tranquil 30 minutes before you drift off to sleep, consciously setting aside dedicated time for reading daily will inexorably forge a habit that endures. Begin modestly. Commit to the seemingly small act of reading for just 10 to 15 minutes each day, and then, with increasing comfort and momentum, gradually expand that duration. Another crucial piece of advice is to make the act of reading genuinely enjoyable. If the material feels like an arduous chore, your resolve will quickly wane. Choose books that utterly fascinate you, that intellectually challenge you, that spark genuine excitement within you. If you find yourself at a loss for where to begin, simply select a book that directly aligns with your deepest interests or most fervent passions. You'll find yourself instinctively craving more pages, and before you fully realize it, you will have organically cultivated a robust, lasting reading habit. And finally, and powerfully, track your progress. Maintain a simple log of the books you've completed, and crucially, celebrate every incremental victory along the way, whether it's finishing a particularly challenging chapter, conquering an entire book, or reaching a significant milestone in your reading journey. Take profound pride in your continuous evolution as a reader. Reading transcends mere inactivity. It is a profound lifestyle choice, a direct pathway to unparalleled personal growth, and an essential key to unlocking the full, magnificent expanse of your potential. If you are truly earnest about staying leagues ahead of 99% of the population, then reading must reside at the absolute core of your daily regimen. Books possess the astonishing power to fundamentally alter the course of your life, and the more deeply you immerse yourself, the more exponentially you will grow, the more abundant opportunities you will organically create, and the more profoundly you will thrive. So, the next time you find a few precious minutes of freedom, instead of instinctively reaching for your phone or succumbing to passive entertainment, open a book. It is these seemingly small, incredibly consistent steps that will inexorably transport you from your current reality to the expansive future you've always dared to envision. Are you ready to turn the page? Your future self will eternally thank you. The compounding effect. Consistency is king. Have you ever found yourself working relentlessly, pouring in countless hours of effort, yet feeling an unsettling disconnect because the anticipated results simply aren't materializing? You're convinced you're executing flawlessly, or at least you believe you are. You've meticulously set ambitious goals, painstakingly crafted a detailed plan, and for the most part, your motivation remains high. Yet day after day, week after week, tangible progress feels agonizingly slow, like a sluggish crawl. The core of this perplexing problem lies in a concept that is both deceptively simple and extraordinarily potent, a concept that the vast majority of people consistently overlook: consistency. While popular narratives often suggest that success bursts forth from sudden surges of motivation or grand heroic efforts, the profound truth is that achieving anything truly meaningful is the direct consequence of small, daily actions performed consistently over an extended period of time. That precisely is the ultimate game changer. It's remarkably easy to become captivated by the allure of dramatic overnight transformations or spectacular wins, particularly in our age of social media, where seemingly everyone is broadcasting their colossal breakthroughs. But the unvarnished truth is that enduring success is never ever built upon those rare, fleeting moments of sudden inspiration. It is painstakingly constructed, brick by brick, upon the multitude of seemingly insignificant actions you diligently undertake each and every day. These daily choices, no matter how minute they appear in isolation, relentlessly compound over time, ultimately generating results that, at the outset, you could never have possibly imagined. This chapter is entirely dedicated to unraveling the immense, often underestimated power of consistency and the transformative impact of small, ingrained habits. Because once you truly grasp this concept and meticulously integrate it into your life, you will unequivocally realize that the key to unlocking extraordinary success was perpetually within your grasp. It just wasn't as overtly glamorous or instantly gratifying as you might have been led to believe. But make no mistake, these quiet, steadfast daily habits possess the astonishing power to fundamentally reshape the entire landscape of your life.